The first question is, what is AWS? And I think most of us knows about that. We call it Amazon Web Services. Now we understand Amazon is a company name. Web is like something like over the internet, www, HTTP or something like that. You get something to access through the browser. But here, what is the services I'm going to talk about? So services like compute services, okay, compute services, storage services, networking services, security services, and different kind of apps, so these are the kind of services which we can get it through the browser, through the web, and that is provided by Amazon Web Services. Very simple. Compute means it's like your laptop is a compute device, right? Last session we did virtual machine creation, right? Using the VirtualBox. That's a compute device. Storage means you understand that where we store the data. In your laptop also there is a storage. You can buy external drives, that's also storage. In mobile also there is a storage. Database is also kind of storage, structured, storage, non-structured, structured, so all this thing. Networking means what? Networking, if I put it in a simple way, let's say just visualize in your mind, okay? You are in your office and office is getting internet from somewhere, right? From outside. But in office itself, you must be having multiple departments, right? So it's a one big large network within an office. Then many organizations divide this large network into the multiple small network, and then your laptop is connected to that network so you can work. Internet is coming from outside. So that's kind of networking. So when you want to run multiple servers outside of your office, then you need a networking services. So you should create a network, then sub network, that's what we call it, subnet. Then you should get the internet from outside in that network. Then inside that you can run the compute. Okay, so something like that. Security related stuff and applications. So yes, these are the primary services which we get it on AWS. Now AWS is only services which we have here. No, we have a multiple services which is available. One is AWS, another one is Azure, another one is Google Cloud. Many things, many options are there. More than 10-15 cloud platform. IBM has a cloud platform, Oracle has a cloud platform. So many of these are available. Now coming back to the point directly, let's talk about AWS. So in AWS, we need to understand some of the fundamental terminology. And one terminology we call it region. Okay. Another stuff which we call it availability zone. I'm just writing in short. This is AJ's means availability zone. Now we have a region, we have availability zone. We have a few more terminologies also related to like endpoints and stuff like that. I'm not complicating too much. So region and availability zone. Now the question is, what is a region? So understand that here Amazon wants to offer the web services worldwide, different continent, different countries. So what they did, they set up the data centers to service for the web services in a different region. So far, if I am not wrong, 17 regions they have. and in these regions they have a data centers. So when you log into AWS, you can select, okay, I want to work in this region. For example, India is a one region, Mumbai. So region is named with the city name actually in AWS. So USA also have a multiple regions. So in a simple way, if I want to show you here, AWS region, and quickly you can see that, just you don't need to remember though, see that here. These are the regions. Oh, this image is very small. This is probably good. And here, look at this. These are the regions. And don't need to remember this because some of the regions get deprecated. Some of the regions keep coming. Most of the regions will be there. For example, here in image you see, it's a pretty old image actually. India, which is coming soon, but it's not like that. India has a region, and is a region, and it has a data center in India also. So like that, you can understand the different data center and different countries. But in AWS, we call it region. So let me show you here. If you log into AWS, first you have to select a region. That's the first thing you have to do that. So here, let's say I've logged in. I have accounts actually, and it's already logged in, so it didn't ask me user ID and password. But you see that here, these are the regions. So North Virginia, Ohio, you see that country, and Africa, Asia, you have so many, Canada, you have so many, Europe, Middle East, we have one, and South America. So these are the regions. I'm working in a Mumbai region right now. That means when I say I'm working in the Mumbai region, that means all of my web services I am creating in the Mumbai region, or you can go for the any other regions also. Now, which region you should work for? Again, simple logic. You should be working in the region which is closer to your client, because ultimately you run applications. Let's say if I have an application which is mostly accessible from India, then I should be using the India region, Mumbai region. Now let's say if you have a global customers, then you probably have to have a run in a different regions and sync it together. So all of you have understood this. What is the concept of region? All of you? Okay. Yes. Now next terminology you will come across, and that is called availability zone. What is this availability zone? So here what happens, think about it. You want to run your applications in a AWS. So let's say this is one region, Mumbai region, and here you are running this compute unit, and then this storage you are running. Okay, just imagine, and this region is, let's say, it's a Mumbai region. Now let's say something gone wrong with this particular data center. Simple. It may come terrorist attack, earthquake, tsunami, riots, war, anything it can happen, right? So basically you lose the data forever because you are trusting AWS, and then you lose the data forever. This whole data center has gone down. You are not able to access it. So how do you make it available, even though, let's say, something is happening in one area, other areas should not get impacted? So how do you do that? So for that reason, we have divided a region into multiple ages availability zone. Ages 1, ages 2, ages 3. So one region you can divide into the multiple zone, availability zone. It's a zone. So zone means like that, the availability zone means it will make your application available anytime. So minimum one region must have at least a 2 zone. In Mumbai, we have a 3 zone. Few regions we have a 4 also. Depends on that. But minimum we should be having 2 zone. So right now, what we will do? So now, just to make our system available, what we will do? We'll run these systems here also, and then same applications we run in this also. So let's say if one availability zone is having some problem, still second availability zone is going to give the end user the same experience. Now this can be used as a backup. This can be used as a running a application, highly available applications. In fact, you know, AWS also, they run so many apps. Here I said, right, apps. So they use different availability zone and different regions to back it up the data also. Are you understanding now that availability zone in a simple way, all of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about some of the stuff which is related to IAM. What is IAM? Here you have these services which you can see in the security. IAM. So understand that you logged in into AWS, and that's we call it root account. Just now I logged in, you see here, I logged into AWS. You can see a lot of services. Click on the services and you see these are all services. More than 5,000 services are available. These all are categories actually. Okay. So, and each category, let's say for the sake of compute, again you have so many services. See that. Again you click on the EC2. Again you have so many services. It's like that. So now, when you logged in into AWS, it's a root account. So let's say this root account belong to, I'm just giving you a simple example, it belonged to one organization called Photocus. Okay, so this is the organizations this account belongs to. Now you know what, Photocus have multiple, understand that it's very simple. Photocus has a multiple department, one department 2, or let's say project, you can say, that will be easy to understand. Project 1, project 2, project 3. Now each project you have dev team, QA team, ops team. Simple. This project is also dev team, QA team, ops team. This also dev team, QA team, ops team. And each of these you have engineer 1 and engineer 2, like that. Now the problem here is, how can you share this root account with these 3 different projects, 3 different teams, and multiple individuals? Because if you know that if you share this root account and have access to everything, okay, access for everything. So if you give access to everything, then everyone can access everything, and that's not a good idea, right? Because let's say if I give you this user ID and password, you can access everything, you can do anything, and you can create as many resources you wanted, and ultimately I have to pay for it. So in this case of organizations also, they need to protect their resources, right? No one should misuse it. No one should be allowed to unauthorized access someone else's resources. So how do you do that? So guys, for this problems, we have a IAM. Did you understand the problems at least to begin with, all of you?
Yeah.
Now, what is the IAM stand for? IAM stand for Identity and Access Management. So here, what you can do, you can, it's very simple thing. We have a policies in IAM. Policies means what? Policies means, you can say, it's like what access. Okay, that's called policies. Okay, now we have a groups. There's a spelling mistake, so please ignore it whenever I do mistakes like that. And then group. So what we have? So we have a policies and we have a user. Who? See here, user means who, policies mean what access, And group basically is a combination of who plus what. Understood or not? I'll just put it in this way. Visualizations. Here you have a policies, different policies. Policy 1, policy 2, policy 3, policy 4, policy 5, policy 6, policy 7. Now we have a multiple users. Users 1, users 2, users 3, users 4. And then now we'll create a form of group. So from this user, I created a group. And this assigned to this particular policy. So that means anyone who's a part of this group, as of now 2 users, he will get access to these many things. So this group you can create as many. Are you understanding this concept? All of you?
Yes.
Okay, I must tell you here, this user, please remember this hard code this statement. This user which I create using IAM is not a user of AWS. It's a user of root account Kotokas. Mind it. Okay, so let me do that, and probably you'll have a little bit better visualizations. So IAM, you just search for it, though you can explore the services easily, and click on it here. Now you see that I have a 4 groups, 13 users, and few roles and policies already there. This is the policy, this is the users, this is the user group. So what I'm going to do? So first thing, I am going to create a user. How do we do that? So you see that in front of you. So this is the dev1, and what kind of access you want to give it to this guy? Using, he should be able to access using program, I mean API, or using password like a console, the one which I'm showing. And do you want to set the password? So you can set the password dev $123. Okay, so this is the password dev1, and I don't want the user to change the password. And here it says some password complexity, so I just increase this, and next. Here you are adding a permissions. So here you see, add a user to the group. Now I'm not adding a group, and the next, tag it, review, done. I've not added to that user to the group. So this is the user I created. Now I go back to IAM. Okay, so close this. So I will create one group. Look at my screen. Here, click group. It's very simple. This is the PRJ1 group, project 1, and you want to add this guy, dev1. Here I have added. And do you want to attach some permissions? Remember that I said group is nothing but I had a combination of users and permissions. Permissions, now what you want to give? Let's say EC compute, I want to give access. This you have to be, you need to spend some time to understand what policy is doing what, and created a group. See here. So now you see that, let me show you that user dev1 is a part of the group called PRJ, and which has access, which is permissions, EC2 permissions. Very simple. Now, do you think it's a user ID? The user which I created is a user ID of AWS? No, it's a you have to go to the dashboard, and anyone can wants to log in. You can log in using the URL, which is just a second. There should be one URL on top. Okay, I cannot see that. Here it should come. MFA means multi authentication factor, which I have not added it. Okay, no problem. I'll show you this here. Yeah, look at my screen here. So you go to the AWS, and they'll ask you, hey, do you want to access the root user? No. IAM user, yes. What is username? So username was dev1. So dev1 next, and here what is the sorry, this is the account ID. Sorry, this is my bad, I gave the wrong account ID. This is the one. This is the one. Username is dev1 and the password is something here, this one. Not root but account. Don't save, and here you have access to this. So you got access only to EC2 of that account, and you see here, this is your account's ID for the root, and this is the dev. I will please have this practice whenever you do any lab on AWS. You should delete that. Okay, though this IAM is not a paid services, but habit will make you good for that. So I have deleted after creations, and it's a good habit. Okay, so now it will not work. Okay, so now you have understood, if you want to give someone access to your root account of AWS, or you want to gain access from someone else, you have to create user group and add into the policies. Understood, all of you?
Yes.
Great. So now usually today and this, let's say if you're starting first time, you will work with the root user only. But if you're working for the organizations, they'll give you IAM users. Okay, so mind it. Now after this, what you going to do? Let's say you logged in. This is your AWS and you have logged in. So what are you going to do? Let me tell you here, AWS has one feature, one service which is good for you. If you want to try it out, you can do that, and that is AWS Free Tier. Okay, spend some time here. AWS Free Tier. Now, as part of this scheme, you know, if you registered a new account with the new credit card, okay, and they will give you this page as well. So 12 months free, but not everything, guys, not everything. What you get free and what you not get free, you have to check this. For example, compute you get 750 only for there's a T2 micro. So you have to read it very carefully. Don't be blind. You have to read it. In S3 you get 5 GB and RDS and like that. So before using that blindly, you should check the prices. By the way, there's one more program which is activated, and that says, hey, AWS Activate provides eligible startup with a host of resources including and you can get a credit up to this one. Okay, so $1 lakh credit you can get it. So yeah, it's up to you. It depends on what kind of stuff we have. Make sense, guys, all of you? So here you can check this. If you activate an account, you can try free of cost. Now coming back to the points, let's say you logged into AWS. So what do you want to do? So of course you're going to do all these services which I talked about it. Okay, all these services you're going to do that. Okay, so I'll just put it up in this. Let's start with compute. Let me tell you, there are so many compute services. I'm not discussing too many, but here I am going to discuss about compute services, which is EC2. Okay, one of the compute services which I'm going to talk about, and that's called EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Compute. C2 means cloud compute. But in simple way, if I say, hey, it's a virtual machine, that's all. Don't complicate. In AWS, we call it EC2, but actually it's a virtual machines. And the same virtual machines which you created last session, using VirtualBox or VMware you can create, Hyper-V you can create, in your laptop you can create, the same virtual machines you can create on AWS. Okay, so now I am going to create a virtual machines. One virtual machines I'm going to create Linux, and one virtual machines I'm going to create Windows. Okay, after that I'm going to access the virtual machines of Linux and Windows also I'm going to access. After accessing what to do, I think you guys are comfortable. Make sense, all of you? All of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So you should go to EC2, search for EC2, EC2, click here. Now, initially, you might not remember this keyword if you are using AWS first time, but it's simple way, these all are categories. So here you have a compute, and here you have a containers, here you have a database. Here you have networking, see here. And IAM you have in a security, identity and compliance. Here you have a storage. So it's a well-defined categories. Depends on your understanding, you can go ahead and use it. So the moment I click on compute, I get a lot of options. You see here, AWS, batch, EC2, builder, and so many. I just want this one, virtual server in the cloud. That's all. This is the dashboard for EC2. How many instances I'm running? How many dedicated hosts? How many elastic IPs? IP means public IP. How many instances you have it? Key pairs with to access, load balancers, placement groups, security groups, some snapshots, volumes. So these are the status. Now you see
Just
that
one quick question. Again, this security group is having any kind of relevance with IAM roles?
no, security groups has no relationship with IAM group. I'll put it in a very simple way. Whenever you see security group in AWS or Azure, whatever it is, security groups is basically external firewall. I repeat, external firewall. The firewall which you have in your operating system, right?
Okay.
Same firewall, we call it a security group.
All right.
Okay. So now if you see that here, I'm in the Virginia region right now. I don't want to work for the Virginia region. So I'll just go to Mumbai. So Mumbai is here, I click on it here. And here it is. So now you see that I have a 2 instance running, 15 key pairs, security groups, number of instances I have 9. That means running 2, but out of 9, and volumes also 9, because 9 instances, 9 volumes I have it. I have not created an additional volume, so like that. Okay, I have 2 snapshots which I have created and 1 elastic IP address. Elastic IP address means permanent IP address. Okay, what is a permanent IP address? What is a temporary IP address? And all this thing I'll discuss. Okay, so now first let me create this Linux box. How do you do that? It's very simple. Click on the instances, and this UI probably there's so many your left options, so many top options. You say you feel sometimes get lost. Don't get lost. Just stick to the point. I want virtual machine. That's all. Don't try to learn everything because you get lost. Remember, we have 5,000 services. Again, use cases will come, and then you start get comfortable with it. So right now, what I want, launch instances. Now, guys, I would like you to look at this important. Here, this instances is a 6 steps which you have to choose this. So here, what you have to do, remember that first session in Linux, I created VMs, right? Virtual machines. So for that, I had an ISO file. So in AWS, we call it AMI. AMI means Amazon Machine Image. Okay, so we have to choose AMI. Here we have a type. Type means what? In a simple way, how much CPU, how much RAM you can give it. And then you have to configure instances with some additional information. Here you have to add storage. Here you can add a tag. And here you can add a firewall. Review, done. That's all. By the way, all this step number 1 to 6, 1 to 7, whatever you see, many of these options are a default and optional. So don't worry about filling each and everything and knowing each and everything to begin with. Because if you
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to hundreds of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.